Hello, all. Resting is hard. Letting yourself actually take a break can be really hard, especially when you're dealing with internalized ablism or unlearning that your inherent value doesn't involve what labor you can provide for others. So, here's a 20-minute or so video of relaxing music and weaving. If you can, please grab some sort of hydration, sit, rest, drink your fluids, take your meds, and just breathe for 20 minutes. If you need something to do with your hands, that's absolutely fine too. I'll be asking a question partway through if accountability helps you, like it does me, but answering that question is entirely optional. Your resting isn't being lazy, it's preventative maintenance. Actually resting for 20 minutes now, will help prevent burnout later. Yes, I'm being a bit of a hypocrite, but I'm also fully planning on using my own videos for my own rest times. So I'm in this too. My name is Took. I'm a disabled genderqueer weaver who's had life take odd turns, but who knows that even tattered and worn yarn still has value, and that tired joints and health flares don't have to stop the journey. I weave exclusively with secondhand fibers, aided with adaptive warping, HR and OSHA cats, and a wonderful found family. Welcome to Hawk Song Weaving, where all our paths are a little bit warped. Today's question: what's something you're doing right now in your life that you're really, really proud of? Something that is hard for you to maintain, but you're able to do it. And this can just be staying alive. Staying alive is incredibly hard, and it's not easy, especially, like, it's just not easy. But like, if you are just staying alive, genuinely, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so glad that you're still here. For me, though, right now, I'm really genuinely proud of myself for sticking to my guns and or metaphorically speaking, God, that's such an American phrase, but sticking to myself and making sure that I'm as safe as I can be in current events. And for me, that includes not looking at news articles too much, or like getting too involved, because I get so involved so quickly and my health just cannot take it. Being allergic to adrenaline and cortisol kind of sucks. But I'm keeping myself and my loved ones as safe as I can, and I'm taking care of myself in this. And that's all I really can do, and that's got to be what I can do in all of this. But for those of us who are just, I'm so glad you're all here. This got melancholy real quick, but just genuinely very glad we're all here. Thank you for resting. I'm so glad for the odd turn that your path took that brought you here. Thank you for spending time with me at Hawksong Weaving, where we're all a bit warped. And I hope that you have a truly excellent week.